From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day, this is Dateline Malacañang, and here are the news. Malacañang said Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has mobilized his team to conduct an immediate review of the amounts and provisions agreed upon in the bicameral conference committee version of the proposed 2026 national budget. Presidential Communications Office Acting Secretary Dave Gomez said the president will spend the holidays working to ensure that all changes to the originally submitted National Expenditure Program, or NEP, are properly traced and carefully reviewed. Gomez said the review is meant to align public funds with the administration's priorities, ensuring the efficient and proper use of taxpayers' money. He stressed that the process underscores the president's commitment to transparency, accountability, and responsible fiscal management. The Senate and the House of Representatives concluded the bicameral conference committee deliberations on the proposed 2026 General Appropriations Act, or GAA, on December 18. The Senate has extended its session calendar to give lawmakers more time to review the proposed 2026 national budget. The proposed 2026 GAA is expected to be ratified by the Senate on December 29 once the enrolled bill is finalized and circulated to all members.
Dateline Malacañang.
Malacañang said it would review the Supreme Court decision affirming the murder conviction of police officers in the killing of teenager Kian de los Santos in 2017, noting that the ruling reinforces calls for a deeper investigation into alleged extrajudicial killings during the controversial war on drugs of the previous administration. Presidential Communications Office Secretary Dave Gomez said the palace has yet to fully study the High Court's decision. He said the development highlights the relevance of proposals from various sectors to establish an independent body to examine cases of alleged extrajudicial killings. In a 40-page decision made public Monday, the SC's 2nd Division found police officers Arnel Juarez, Jeremias Pereda, and Jerwin Cruz guilty of murder and sentenced them to up to 40 years in prison and ordered them to pay the teen's family 275,000 pesos in damages. De Los Santos, then a grade 11 student, was summarily killed during an anti-drug operation in Caloocan City 2017, a case that drew widespread public outrage and became emblematic of alleged abuses linked to the drug war under former President Rodrigo Duterte. The ruling is widely seen as a significant affirmation of accountability within law enforcement and the justice system. Duterte is currently detained in The Hague for crimes against humanity charges before the International Criminal Court due to his brutal war on drugs during his stint as Davao City Mayor and President. Meanwhile, Acting Philippine National Police PNP Chief Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. welcomed the Supreme Court decision, saying it demonstrates that due process and the rule of law are working in the Philippines, ensuring justice is served even in difficult cases. He added that the ruling should serve as a warning to all erring police officers that the law will catch up with them and that they will be held accountable for any violations of their mandate and sworn duties. Nartates emphasized that the PNP remains steadfast in its commitment to uphold the law, strengthen accountability within the ranks, and deliver justice to all victims of illegal actions.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has urged Filipinos to eat in moderation and avoid firecrackers during the Christmas and New Year celebrations, delivering the reminder in a light-hearted yet safety-focused vlog released for Christmas 2025. In his latest vlog made public Tuesday, President Marcos encouraged the public to enjoy holiday food but warned against overindulgence, noting the seasonal rise in health risks. The president also cautioned motorists to be careful while traveling for the holidays and reiterated his call to avoid firecrackers who have long been linked to injuries during the year-end festivities. The president said choosing safer alternatives would help ensure a joyful and injury-free celebration as Filipinos welcome the New Year.
Sana ay masaya at mapayapa ang inyong pagdiriwang kasama ang inyong mga kaanak at kaibigan. Sa pagkain, yung sakto lang po. Alam nyo naman, mataas ang mga kaso ng heart attack ngayong panahon dahil napaparami po ang kain natin ng taba. Ingat lang po sa pagmamaneho kung saan po kayo pupunta. At siyempre, mag-ingat sa mga paputok. Iwasan na natin yan. Doon na po tayo sa mga torotot at iba pang malingay na mga laruan. Para kumpleto at masaya ang pagsalubong natin sa darating na bagong taon. Merry Christmas! Happy New Year po!
The Christmas vlog also featured President Marcos answering light and humorous holiday questions, including gift exchanges, potluck food choices, and family gatherings, while still weaving in reminders on health, safety, and responsible celebration. To the question of whether it is acceptable to pass on gifts received during an exchange gift, the president reminded Filipinos to value the thought behind every present, while noting that gifts may still be shared with others who could benefit from them. Asked how much leche flan one should eat, President Marcos joked that Christmas is a time to enjoy food without too many restrictions, while advising hosts to simply prepare enough for everyone. The chief executive also gamely responded to a question on how to react to a relative's comment on one's weight. In the vlog, First Lady Luis Araneta Marcos joined the president in answering questions. When asked whether godparents can avoid giving gifts to their godchildren, President Marcos said that was not an option for them. Even Christmas potluck plans were brought up. He closed the vlog by wishing Filipinos a peaceful holiday season.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Department of Health or DOH reported 7 fireworks-related injuries or FWRIs in various regions, 75% lower compared to the same period last year. In an advisory, the DOH said 28 FWRIs were recorded in the same period last year. The cases recorded by 62 Sentinel hospitals from December 21 to 4 a.m. of December 23 were mostly due to illegal fireworks, usually Boga and 5-star. About 57% of the total cases are 19 years old and below, while 43% are 20 years old and above. The public is reminded to promptly bring victims to the hospital in case of any firecracker-related accidents. Call the National Emergency Hotline 911 right away for emergency medical assistance, according to the DOH.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippine National Police or PNP called on local government units or LGUs to designate firecracker zones in their respective areas to ensure public safety during the holiday season. Acting PNP Chief Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. made the call as he expects usage of firecrackers, which started before Christmas, to further increase in the days leading to the New Year. On Monday, Nartates and Bulacan Governor Daniel Fernando led the inspection of stalls selling firecrackers in Bocaue, Bulacan, the country's fireworks capital, to check if they have valid permits, proper storage facilities, and clearly labeled products. Existing Philippine laws prohibit the sale of illegal oversized, overweight, imported, and unlabeled firecrackers and pyrotechnic devices, among them Watusi, Pop-Up, Plapla, Piccolo, 5-star, Giant Bawang, Giant Whistle Bomb, Atomic Bomb, Large Size Judas Belt, Super Lolo, Goodbye, Bading, Lolo Thunder Atomic Triangle Mother Rockets, Goodbye Philippines, Goodbye De Lima, Goodbye Napoles, Coke in Can, Bin Laden, and Dart Bomb. Nartates directed all local units or local police units to intensify intelligence gathering, conduct regular and surprise inspections of stalls, warehouses and storage areas, and increase visibility patrols in residential communities, public markets, and online platforms where illegal fireworks are often sold. He warned that the PNP will not hesitate to file cases against those who would violate the law and related regulations regarding the sale and manufacturing of firecrackers. Police commanders who fail to enforce firecracker rules and regulations will also be held accountable.
Dateline Malacañang.
Road crash injuries doubled during the 2024-2025 holiday period, with 11,146 patients recorded as more Filipinos traveled and alcohol-related incidents rose during Christmas and New Year celebrations. In an advisory Monday night, the Department of Health said the data came from its online National Electronic Injury Surveillance System, covering patients who were brought to 210 hospitals and infirmaries for road crash injuries from December 2024 to January 2025. The figure is nearly double the 5,785 cases recorded in October and November 2024. Of the total, 1,173 patients were found to have consumed alcohol, reinforcing concerns about impaired driving contributing to severe crashes during the festive months. The DOH said a sharp increase mirrors the annual trend of heavier road traffic, long-distance trips, and holiday gatherings, which together heighten risks on major thoroughfares nationwide. Motorists are reminded to avoid drinking alcohol and to ensure adequate rest before driving, especially during long-distance travel common in the Christmas and New Year period. The advisory was issued as part of its Ligtas Christmas 2025 campaign, which aims to reduce preventable injuries and keep hospitals from being overwhelmed during the holiday season.
Dateline Malacañang.
In other news, the Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH, formally turned over the computer and files from the office of the late former Undersecretary Maria Catalina Cabral accumulated during the past 10 years. In a statement, the DPWH said the turnover was in compliance with the subpoena duces TECCOM of the Office of the Ombudsman issued Monday. DPWH Undersecretaries Nicasio Conti, Arthur Bisnar, Ricardo Bernabe III, and Charles Calima Jr. led the turnover, to which Ombudsman, which is conducting an investigation against government officials and private individuals tagged in the flood control project anomalies. Included in the turnover were documents and other requests for consideration in the programming of the National Expenditures Program, or NEP, in the last 10 years, among others. The agency also assured that it will cooperate with the authorities and relevant agencies handling the investigation. On Monday, the Office of the Ombudsman ordered the DPWH to submit all data storage devices as well as all documents, records, and files under the Office of Cabral, who died last week after her car fell into a deep ravine along Cannon Road in Tuba, Benguet.
Dateline Malacañang.
Still on the Cabral issue, the Office of the Ombudsman said the personal computer surrendered by the Department of Public Works and Highways, or DPWH, originally issued to former Undersecretary Maria Catalina Cabral, will remain sealed until digital forensic examinations are conducted. Assistant Ombudsman Miko Clavano said in an interview with reporters that obtaining and processing Cabral's office-issued cellular phone will be up to the Philippine National Police. Authorities are investigating Cabral's death. She was found unconscious in a ravine along Cannon Road in Tuba, Benguet shortly after midnight on Friday. She was pronounced dead shortly after authorities retrieved her body. Prior to her demise, she has been eyed as a key figure with knowledge in the processes involving anomalous flood control projects. Meanwhile, the Department of Justice said contractor Sally Santos has already surrendered 19 million pesos in ill-gotten wealth obtained by lending her contractor license for use in projects in exchange for a 3% royalty fee. Santos surrendered 15 million pesos to the DOJ on Monday in addition to 4 million pesos she surrendered earlier this month.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippine National Police or PNP will work closely with the concerned investigating bodies to ensure the proper handling of the so-called Cabral files once they are turned over to authorities. Acting PNP Chief Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. in a statement said the Philippine National Police has been assisting all investigative bodies in this effort, and in this case, we will be service again to secure what needs to be secured within the bounds of the law. He added the PNP will be working closely with the Office of the Ombudsman and the Independent Commission for Infrastructure, or ICI, the panel President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. formed to look into anomalies, flood control projects with regards to the files. Nartates also assured the public that all findings from the files will undergo a thorough forensic examination. The Cabral files refer to data storage devices, documents, records, and files linked to the late Department of Public Works and Highways, DPWH Undersecretary Maria Catalina Cabral, a key personality in the corruption scandal hounding government flood control projects. The DPWH earlier said it would hand over the files to both the PNP and the Office of the Ombudsman. Nartates said among those expected to be uncovered in the devices are files identifying the proponents of DPWH budget insertions, copies of which were supposedly given by Cabral to Batangas 1st District Representative Leandro Leviste before she fell to her death in Benguet on December 19. Nartates said this is in line with Marcos' directive to ensure that all government operations are conducted with diligence, integrity, and respect for the rule of the law. Department of Interior and Local Government or DILG Secretary John Vic Remulla, for his part, said Cabral's gadgets could help determine if there were threats against her life prior to her death. Remulla noted the critical role of the gadgets and other physical evidence in tracing the days leading to Cabral's death, saying this could aid in identifying if there were imminent threats against her life.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Bureau of Customs, or BOC, has launched an online tracking portal for the door-to-door deliveries of balikbayan boxes to the families of overseas Filipino workers or OFWs nationwide. In a social media post, the Bureau said the public may access the https://customs.gov.ph regarding the status of their boxes. Upon accessing the website, the beneficiaries will be able to get information including the bill of lading, the container number consolidator, deconsolidator, county, or rather, country of origin, and the status of the delivery. At the same time, the Bureau reminded the public that no payment of fees will be required for the delivery of the boxes, and the site is continuously updated with each door-to-door rollout. The people are also advised to send an email to bayanibox@customs.gov.ph for inquiries regarding balikbayan boxes. Earlier, Commissioner Ariel Nepomuceno said the agency would be conducting door-to-door delivery of boxes sent by OFWs. This was in compliance with the orders of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. to release the some 130,000 balikbayan boxes as a gift to OFWs and their families in the country. The rollout started on December 18 and is targeted to be completed by early January 2026.
Dateline Malacañang.
Close to 150,000 disadvantaged workers across Oxargen were provided emergency employment in 2025, with total funding worth 668.88 million pesos, which help families cope with economic shocks and emergencies while supporting community recovery. In a statement, the Department of Labor and Employment or DOLE Regional Office 12 reported that 148,343 individuals were given temporary jobs under the Tulong Panghanap Buhay sa Ating Disadvantaged Displaced Workers or TUPAD program in the region. Of the total assistance, a total of 660.71 million pesos was released as wages complemented by 8.16 million pesos in government service insurance system, GSIS coverage to ensure beneficiaries' protection while performing community-based work. In response to disasters, DOLE 12 also extended TUPAD assistance to around 9,782 families or 18,659 individuals affected by typhoons and habagat southwest monsoon that struck various parts of the region during the year. The affected residents were able to earn income while contributing to community recovery through labor-intensive activities such as cleanup, clearing operations, and rehabilitation of public spaces. It reported that the program likewise prioritized vulnerable and special sectors, reinforcing DOLE's inclusive social protection mandate. Beneficiaries included 488 persons deprived of liberty or PDLs who received 3.9 million pesos, 121 Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino Program or 4Ps members who earned 576,200 pesos, and 643 former combatants who were provided 2.39 million pesos to support their transition to peaceful and productive civilian life. Officer-in-Charge Regional Director Raymond Felsahor said TUPAD remains a critical safety net for workers facing sudden loss of income while also serving as a platform for social development, disaster response, and peace building. The DOLE official said the interventions were implemented in close coordination with local government units and partner stakeholders, enabling swift and targeted delivery of aid at the grassroots level.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Implementing Rules and Regulations institutionalizing the updated price ceiling of socialized housing projects in support of the expanded Pambansang Pabahay para sa Pilipino 4PH program have been released. Under the IRR, the maximum selling price for socialized subdivision or horizontal housing projects is set at 950,000 pesos, while socialized condominium or vertical developments may be sold for up to 1.8 million pesos. The updated ceiling reflects current construction and development costs while ensuring that low-income families continue to have access to affordable housing. In a news release, the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development said the IRR operationalizes the adjusted price ceiling introduced under a joint memorandum circular with the Department of Economy, Planning and Development released December 1. The SHUD Secretary Jose Ramon Aliling said the IRR keeps housing delivery on track. Aligned policy with present conditions to remove uncertainty and maintain steady implementation. Both private partners and families deserve clear rules and consistent action.
Dateline Malacañang.
Agriculture Secretary Francisco Chu Laurel ordered a comprehensive review of a goat breeding program in Pangasinan, which was launched under the previous administration. This came after the Commission on Audit or COA flagged the widespread death of purchased goats due to inadequate feeding and nutrition in 2024. Based on the COA's annual audit report, 52 out of the 101 procured Anglo-Nubian and Saanen goats died apparently due to poor animal care. In a statement, the Agri Chief said a review will help determine the technical viability of the program as well as the needed resources to continue it. The purchased goats were intended to be breeder stock for high-quality ruminants at the Pangasinan Research and Experiment Center in Suwal, Pangasinan. The DA, however, will distribute the remaining goats to livestock farmers affected by typhoons in Catanduanes. It will also temporarily use the 140-hectare facility in Pangasinan for the production of high-value crops and innovation hubs while the review is underway. Dateline
Malacañang.
Finally, for Dateline Malacañang, the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, or BFAR, said it is seeking to secure regular positions for its West Philippine Sea, or WPS, frontliners next year. This came as BFAR and Philippine Fisheries Development Authority, or PFDA, retirees distributed Christmas gift kits to them on Monday. In an ambush interview, BFAR spokesperson Nazario Briguera said they want to have plantilla items for 50% of their WPS frontliners. These positions include technical professionals such as marine researchers, engineers, and crew members, among others. Some WPS frontliners, meanwhile, expressed hopes for them to be regular to get the same benefits received by their colleagues and crew members. Chief Engineer Armilo Pagliawan of MWDA BFAR stated that the contract of service, or COS status of BFAR personnel poses higher liabilities considering the safety and security risks in the WPS. BRP Francisco Dagohoy, MMOV 5002 Shipmaster Captain Perlito Pascua likewise underscored the need for plantilla items. About 250 to 300 personnel may benefit from the move once the budget is approved and granted, according to BFAR.
Dateline Malacañang.
And that is all for today's Dateline Malacañang. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this has been Bea Gaza-de Guzman.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.